So I finally have my hands on the latest and greatest smartphone from Samsung, the Galaxy S8 Plus. Now, let me start off with this. This is going to be a long video because I want to give you, my viewers, an actual detailed look on what it's like to own and use a Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus every day, just in case you want to get one. I don't switch phones that often. My phone before the S8 Plus was the Galaxy Note 3, which I adored because of its size and the general usefulness of the Note Pen. But it's become old and painfully slow, and it requires me to reboot the phone every few hours and the battery barely lasts half the day anyway. I felt like it was time to upgrade. And Globe offers a really good plan on the S8 Plus, so I went for it. And by the time you're watching this video, I would have already used the S8 Plus for a little more than 2 weeks, which I think is just the right amount of time for me to form proper opinions about the phone. Also, before we begin, zoom out. Press that 4K quality option down below, because from here on out, every video that I release on this channel will be in glorious 4K. Alright, let's start. Zoom back in. So without further ado, here's the things I liked and didn't like about the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. Let's start with the outside of the phone. The S8 Plus is one of the very first phones to flaunt the almost edge-to-edge 18.5:9 aspect ratio AMOLED screen that supports an eye-popping maximum resolution of 2960x1440. That means crystal clear image quality on just about anything you view on it. Both the S8 and S8 Plus have curved screens and rounded screen corners, which Samsung calls the Infinity Edge display. The physical home button and capacitive touch buttons, which have been mainstays of Samsung phones since, forever, has finally been retired in favor of on-screen navigation buttons, just to make that screen stretch almost all the way to the top and bottom of the phone. The S8 series also comes in a multitude of color variants. You have Midnight Black, Orchid Grey, Arctic Silver, Coral Blue, and Maple Gold. And of course, I wanted a baller phone, so I went with the Maple Gold for mine. Mind you, it doesn't look as gold as it does in the photos, so I'm not sure if I'm really happy with that. The metal frame of the phone is quite smooth and features a gloss finish, kind of slippery to hold. Having glass on both sides of the phone doesn't help. It attracts the maximum amount of fingerprints, but is still slippery enough that it can fall out of your pocket if you sit the wrong way. Before we get into the ergonomics of this phone, let me remind you that I am a big person with big hands. That's why I went for the Plus version. But even though the Galaxy S8 Plus comes with a humongous 6.2-inch display, it doesn't feel that big in the hand. It's only barely larger than my previous phone, the Galaxy Note 3. This made my transition to the S8 Plus easier. Two-handed operation of the phone is inevitable, but it never feels hard to use. I just had to adjust a little bit to having the notification drawer higher than before. The edge screen is a hit or miss situation. When gripping the phone for regular use, it's alright, but when I'm lying down on the bed and watching videos, it's hard to keep a steady grip because of the thin sides. My main gripe though is the placement of the fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensors of old Samsung phones used to be embedded in the home button, but since the S8 Plus doesn't have a home button anymore, the fingerprint sensor has been moved to the back of the phone, right beside the camera and the heartbeat sensor. The problem is, it's not in a place where you would usually rest your finger, and because of the lower profile of the camera module, it's super easy to mistake the camera for the fingerprint sensor and smudge the lens. Yuck. Poor choice for speaker placement too. It's at the bottom right of the phone. And it is super easy to accidentally cover it when holding the phone in landscape mode to play games or watch videos. Also, for the more adventurous ones out there, the S8 and S8 Plus are both IP68 rated dust and water resistant. That means it's safe for 1.5 meters of water for about 30 minutes. And yes, it can take photos underwater. As expected, the S8 Plus boasts incredible performance because of its octa-core Exynos 8895 and 6 gigs of RAM. All apps I've downloaded and run so far work super smooth, and there is no noticeable lag. Out of the box, the S8 Plus runs the latest TouchWiz version, built on Android Nougat. And while TouchWiz has greatly matured over the years, featuring less and less bloatware by Samsung with every iteration, I still prefer using Google Apps over their Samsung counterparts, even the home screen launcher. One of the very first things I did once I got the phone was replace the home launcher with the one from the Google Pixel. I used the same setup with my last phone, and I don't think I'll be changing it anytime soon. I just wish that Samsung stops pushing their new digital assistant Bixby too hard on this phone. I mean, it has an entire physical button dedicated to launching Bixby, which I immediately remapped to have Google Now or Google Assistant launch instead. There's also this minor annoyance of having the Bixby Vision animation play every time you open the camera app. Super annoying. For my friends who are into music, don't worry, the S8 Plus still has a headphone port. Also, rejoice! Every S8 Plus comes with a pair of AKG EOIG 955 earbuds. They sound pretty okay. The S8 Plus is also the first phone to ship with Bluetooth 5.0, which offers longer connection ranges and the option to connect to two Bluetooth devices at once. While I haven't tested this out since I only own one Bluetooth speaker, I've noticed that the connection range is almost double of that of the Note 3. Charging and data transfer over the new USB-C type connector is lightning fast. Be prepared to spend on cables though, since your old Samsung cables won't work on the S8 Plus anymore. Camera performance, as expected, is phenomenal. The rear camera shoots 4K video in 1080p slow-mo and is one of the fastest still shooters on any phone camera right now. Any time of the day you can just pull out this phone and take great shots. The front-facing camera is no slouch either. It's wide enough so you don't need to stretch your hand out too much to get all of your friends in the picture, and there is also zoom assist to get the widest lens coverage available. While the S8 Plus packs a capable 3500 mAh battery, the huge screen is unsurprisingly a power hog. To remedy this, TouchWiz offers a resolution slider to save battery. You can run it in full 2960x1440, a midway 2220x1080 resolution, or a battery-saving 1480x720. And yes, they have noticeable effects. A day of heavy use with the S8 on full resolution usually leaves me with about 30% of battery when I get home. The same usage scenario in the low resolution mode leaves me with about 50%. Respectable performance, but this is a new phone. It'll worsen over time, unfortunately. And now for the biggest question. Why did I go for the S8 Plus? Easy. Because I feel this is the next big thing for smartphones. Ever since the dawn of the smartphone, there have been milestone phones where every innovation that came before it is condensed into one amazing phone that will set the bar for the ones that will come after it. The S8 Plus doesn't feel like an incremental upgrade over the S7. Instead, it feels like Samsung is ushering in a new generation of phones. Phones freed from the limitations and problems of past technologies, but in turn introduces new ones that we have not yet foreseen. This is Samsung saying, here's the new milestone. Everybody else, catch up. It's a solid flagship phone that'll stay on top of the game for a long time. Well, until the inevitable Note 8 releases anyway. So that's my review of the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. If you have any questions, comment down below. While you're there, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you want to see more, you can check out my previous video, which is about the origin story of my channel. Check back next week. I'll be taking a look at gaming peripherals and whether or not they should be used in a professional working environment. Thanks for watching. Bye.